An Emmerdale star has hinted that Cain Dingle could step up to support Charity as the truth about baby Leyla threatens to come out. Viewers already know that Charity recently gave birth to Leyla while acting as a surrogate for Sarah and Jacob Sugden. What they don't realise, however, is that the child is actually the result of a drunken one-night encounter between Charity and Ross Barton. Charity made Ross promise to keep quiet, and initially, it seemed like the secret would remain hidden. Things began to unravel when Chas questioned Ross about why he was lingering at the hospital, catching the attention of Dr. Todd, who noticed their intense exchange and grew suspicious. Later on, Todd discovered that Leyla's blood type didn't match Jacob's in the medical records, and with this discovery, she confronted Charity. In upcoming scenes, Todd tells Charity she has solid evidence proving that Charity and Ross are Leyla's biological parents and demands money in exchange for her silence. Charity becomes overwhelmed with panic and is even more disturbed when she witnesses Todd sharing a kiss with Vanessa. Todd then raises the stakes by asking for £10,000, claiming it's repayment for the pension she lost because of Jacob. The question remains whether Charity can come up with the money to keep her secret safe. During an interview with the Manchester Evening News and other outlets, Jeff Hordley suggested that Cain might rise to the occasion and support Charity, especially after giving her his St. Christopher necklace. In recent episodes, the two reflected on their past relationship, with Cain claiming he was the best partner she'd had. Charity responded with laughter, admitting that Vanessa actually held that title. Despite this, Cain wasn't discouraged and tried to flirt with her as a way to distract himself from everything else going on. Charity reassured him that she would stand by him, and he promised to do the same, giving her the necklace as a symbol that she could call on him whenever she needed help. Jeff explained that he hopes their long history on the show will lead to more meaningful moments between the characters. He mentioned that he hadn't yet seen the episode, but had heard it was a touching one involving Cain and Charity. He also liked the idea that Cain might be there for her when the truth about the baby eventually comes out. He added that it would feel like a missed opportunity if that didn't happen, and believes it would be a strong storyline if Cain ended up supporting her through it all. Next week in Emmerdale, Robert Sugden finds himself facing the anger of a revenge-driven Cain Dingle. There's one person in the village you should never cross, and that's Cain Dingle. Following his recent prostate surgery, he is told by his wife Moira that Robert Sugden played a role in her time behind bars. Furious after hearing the truth, Cain takes matters into his own hands and confronts Robert, even going as far as holding him captive with a hammer. Meanwhile, Dr. Todd intensifies her manipulative behaviour by blackmailing Charity Dingle, demanding money in exchange for keeping her major baby secret hidden. At the same time, Beowulf prepares for a fresh chapter in his life after his trial, though it remains uncertain whether things will work out in his favour. Here's a full breakdown of what to expect in Emmerdale episodes airing from Monday 11th of May to Friday the 15th of May. 4 major Emmerdale spoilers for the upcoming week. Number 1. Cain Dingle plots revenge against Robert Sugden. On the morning of his surgery, Cain and Moira try to stay strong, even as the seriousness of the situation begins to hit them. Kyle nervously eats his breakfast, clearly anxious about his father's condition. The family soon arrives at the hospital, and as Cain is taken in for the operation, Kyle struggles to stay calm. Thankfully, the procedure goes well, but Cain is uneasy when he realizes he has been fitted with a catheter. Worried about lasting effects, he starts to overthink everything and even pretends to be in pain to avoid leaving the hospital. Moira becomes increasingly irritated by his behavior, but it is Sarah who finally snaps him out of it, calling out his self-pity and convincing him to go back home. However, adjusting after the surgery is not easy. Things grow tense when Aaron and Robert come to visit, and Cain senses something isn't quite right. Once they're gone, Moira reveals the truth. Robert was the one who planted the documents that led to her arrest. Enraged, Cain decides to get revenge and quietly asks Sam to help him. The next day, Robert is alone in the barn when he hears a strange noise that catches his attention. Out of nowhere, he is attacked from behind and loses consciousness. When he wakes up, he finds himself tied to a chair, staring at a furious Cain, holding a hammer and demanding he pay for his actions. Trouble is clearly brewing. Number 2. Dr. Todd blackmails Charity Dingle. While attending her father's funeral, Todd leaves Jacob wondering if their ongoing conflict has gone too far. Although he is still upset, Sarah reminds him of everything Todd has done to him in recent months. Wanting to fix things, Jacob approaches Todd to offer his sympathy and apologizes for their past disagreements. When she accepts, he begins to believe they might finally move forward. However, the calm doesn't last long. At the pub, Mary tries to set Todd up with Vanessa, and Vanessa agrees to ask her out. The two arrange a date, but just as things seem to improve, Todd hints that she knows something that could cause serious trouble for Jacob. Charity becomes worried after hearing that Todd has been making indirect comments about her secret in front of Jacob, and she urges him to stay away. Later on, Todd tells Vanessa that she has inherited her father's house in Matlock, though Vanessa is concerned that the distance might affect their relationship. Todd explains that she cannot leave yet because she needs to gather some money first. At the Woolpacks beer garden, Todd confronts Charity and claims she has evidence proving that Charity and Ross are Leyla's real parents. She demands payment to keep quiet, leaving Charity shaken, especially after seeing Todd kiss Vanessa later. As the pressure increases, Todd raises her demand to £10,000, calling it compensation for what Jacob supposedly cost her. Now the question is whether Charity can get the money before the truth comes out. Number 3. Beowulf finds it difficult to adjust to his new life. After being freed from prison, Bear gets ready for his first shift at the Caleb Milligan International Depot, where Mandy is also working, while Jai introduces a productivity chart to lift everyone's spirits. Although Bear ends up performing the best, the recognition unexpectedly brings back painful memories from his past on the farm. His anxiety quickly takes over, causing him to lash out at Mandy and Kerry, and he visibly recoils when Jai raises his voice. As Mandy and Kerry explain what Bear has been going through, Jai begins to show more understanding, easing his tone and offering support as Bear tries to adjust and move on. Number 4. Bob Hope creates his own men's darts team. Bob becomes stressed when the Woolpacks men's darts team suddenly ends up one player short. Help arrives just in time when Lewis volunteers to join, confidently insisting he's experienced at playing darts. However, it remains uncertain whether he can actually live up to his claims when it matters most. Emmerdale is broadcast on weekday evenings at 8 p.m. on ITV1 and is also available to stream from 7 a.m. on ITVX. An Emmerdale star has hinted that Cain Dingle could step up to support Charity